फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I am Sharma Kaushik. It was a good day today because the day that India started, nobody had thought that India will be in a comfortable position and they'll be eyeing just 152 runs to win the fourth test match. But that's the reality. And a lot of credit goes to Dhruv Jurel. Well, we'll talk about Dhruv Jurel, Ashwin, Kuldeep Yadav in detail, but let me tell you, as the day began, India were 134 runs behind England's first innings score, and they had only 3 wickets in hand. What Dhruv Jurel did was phenomenal. We'll talk to Sahil Malhotra in detail because he saw the live action in Ranchi. And without delaying this even a bit, let me introduce you all with Sahil Malhotra first because we'll hear it out from him what actually Dhruv Jurel did to Team India that they are in such a comfortable position. And with him, I also have with me Jamie Alter and Keshanivas Rao and Soumya Kapoor. Hello, Sahil. Sahil, with the gesture that you're doing right now, it reminds me only and only about Dhruv Jurel because 90 runs, those crucial 90 runs, and we are all enjoying the test cricket that we're seeing in Ranchi, and we are hopeful for those 152 runs that lead India eventually to a win of the series.
After doing that, I realized that it's going to become the cult celebration now because that's what I generally do when I come on a show. But what Dhruv Jurel has done today and that celebration, it will be remembered for a long time. And the way that kid batted today, I'll still call him a kid because he's way too young, still finding his feet in international cricket. Only his second test innings and the kind of composure he showed, batting with the lower order, batting with the tail. That was exceptional. That was some unreal match temperament. That was unreal game awareness. How to bat with the tail, when to accelerate, the kind of shots to pick, how he visualized this innings speaks volumes about his character. Again, his big match temperament. I have been raving on his big match temperament ever since he played that 15 ball 34 versus CSK in an IPL match. Yeah. It was at the Savai Mansingh Stadium. It's a different format, but I think that's what IPL tells you. It helps you identify players who are actually mentally cut out for the big stage. And Dhruv Jurel was 15 first-class games before his test debut. That's not a big enough sample size to gauge how good a cricketer he could have been in red ball cricket. Played most of his games out of the 15. 6 out of the 15 matches he played as an opener. Had a double 100 as an opener for Uttar Pradesh. But here he is doing the tough job for India in the middle order on a pitch which is just getting worse by the day. So hats off and I salute him for what he did today.
Well, obviously. Dhruv Jurel, his journey has been phenomenal. Sahil has covered Jurel's journey even before the series began. I remember Sahil did one interview with Jurel, and in that interview, he was talking about, how important it is for him to play well, and those 90 runs were very crucial for Team India. But apart from Dhruv Jurel, Jamie, Ashwin, I would like to say...
Quickly, sorry, Sonam, Jamie, bhai. Just that interview at the post-day press conference today, when I got an opportunity to ask him a question, I wanted to remind him of that interview and I did. I said कि आपने मेरे को बोला था कि पापा जब स्टैंड्स में आए थे तो वो बोलते थे कि सबने बहुत ताने में मारे मेरे को, तूने सबका मुंह बंद करा दिया है, तो अब इसके बाद कितने मुंह बंद होंगे? तो एकदम कैंडिडली हंसता हुआ मुस्कुराता हुआ बोला, हाँ भैया मुंह तो बंद करा दिया अब टेस्ट डेब्यू के बाद. मतलब all those things, raw emotions and pure emotions, and all these debuts, there are phenomenal stories of hardships and struggle. All these people, Akash Deep, Dhruv Jurel, Sarfaraz Khan, even Rajat Patidar. Rajat Patidar, we are not speaking that often because he has been a domestic veteran for close to 9 years now. But all these three kids, hats off to the journey which they have had. And for them to come out on top and do it at the biggest stage as early as their first or second innings speaks volumes about their character. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sahil, you rightly mentioned, not only Dhruv Jurel, but all the debutants, Sarfaraz, Akash Deep, they have done phenomenal. And obviously, they led the team to a position where everybody can now say that, we are just moments away from a series win. But Jamie, one effort that we should really, recognize and appreciate, and years down the line, we have always done that. But now it's a big, big moment for all of us to appreciate 35th fifer. And Ravi Chandran Ashwin, he's just going on and on. I would like to say that in this series, we didn't see the best of him, but what we saw today was really, really just like Ashwin is.
Soumya knows exactly what I'm going to say. Um, we discussed this because the amount of hate, no, not hate, the amount of criticism and sudden disdain that Ravi Chandran Ashwin has gotten for what can at best be termed until today. There seems to be a glitch here. Sorry. What can be best termed in this series as a very under par series, right? We've discussed this. Has he bowled badly? No. Has he bowled Ashwin level? No. It's been a very underwhelming performance, but like we discussed, and we both said the same thing, Soumya and I. अगर एक बंदा है जो आज का दिन अपनी छाप छोड़ेगा इस मैच पे, it has to be Ashwin, you know. And look, the guy, he turned it around, and I think credit has to be given to whoever took the decision not to open with the Pacers, but open with Ashwin. The guy got you 3 wickets in his first spell, 2 and 1 over. Game wahan se khul chuka tha. You know, it would have been perhaps slightly better with some slightly more proactive captaincy. You probably could have got Zach Crawley a little earlier, but in the end, even Zach Crawley's amazing innings will probably end up being a footnote because of what, first of all, Ashwin did and Kuldeep Yadav. 4-5 wicket aaj ke hisab se, I'm putting them both on an even keel. 9 wickets are shared between the two most likeliest spinners to get something off a day 3 wicket. Ek Ashwin hai, dusre Kuldeep Yadav hai. And I think, again, Soumya knows where I'm coming from. A lot of people have said things like, oh, aajkal wo YouTube pe zyada dhyan de rahe hain. He only gets wickets on square turners. One guy told me he should be dropped for the next match. वो यहाँ था या कहीं था मुझे याद नहीं है. And have we got to a stage where a man who's played 99 test matches and taken 500 wickets before today is suddenly being dismissed like this? Absolutely not. So Soumya, his looks says it all. We're not surprised that we're talking so much about Ashwin on a day. It was a matter of time, यार. उसको खुद ही नहीं लग रहा होगा बुरा. Of course उसको लग रहा होगा यार कि ये लोग मुझे sweep मार रहे हैं, reverse sweep मार रहे हैं. Just a matter of time, and there you go. Here he is, 5 wickets.
And he picked up the correct time to deliver.
बिल्कुल.
And you know, अश्विन जैसे प्लेयर के लिए सब लोग बहुत सारी बातें कहते हैं कि वो अब उनकी एज हो चुकी है, he doesn't know how to bowl in such conditions and all of that, but time and again we have seen अश्विन बार बार आते हैं, वो मैजिक करके दिखाते हैं, and then he goes back. Even after today's game, Ashwin said that, you know, बाकी सब क्या चल रहा है ये मेरे हाथ में नहीं है, एंड आई नो दैट कि मैंने जिस तरीके से बॉलिंग करी है इस पूरे सीरीज में वो बेस्ट नहीं रही है, बट टुडे आई ट्राइड माय बेस्ट. Today I took everything out of the conditions that were put in front of me, and I think that's why I've got the result. Well, I'll go to Srini, but before that, Jamie said one thing. You know, he talked about the captaincy, and I want to know from Sahil, Ashwin से related बहुत सारी चीजें चल रही हैं, and बहुत लोगों का कहना है कि Rohit didn't use Ashwin wisely in the whole series. Do you second that thought?
I think it has little to do with how Rohit used Ashwin, but more to do with how Ashwin used himself. He was much smarter today the way he bowled, and he wasn't looking for turn on the surface. So he came with a very different strategy. He knew that the ball wasn't turning square, and he knew that England would expect the ball to turn and would play for turn. Ashwin opted for a very different release. I saw it multiple times in the replays. He opted for a release where the seam was pointing towards the square leg and not the fine leg. He was getting more side spin, more undercutting the ball कि उससे turn कम होगा, drift ज़्यादा होगा. तो अगर आप दो पहले उसके dismissals देखे, Oli Pope का और Ben Duckett का, they got out playing for the turn which wasn't there. They were undone by the drift. That was R. Ashwin, the scientist for you. And if you closely look at the replays of his first innings highlights and second innings highlights, R. Ashwin had a much busier load up this time. He changes his load up quite often, but this time, during the test match, who would have the audacity to tweak his action? R. Ashwin has. वो इस बार अगर वो जैसा वो ऐसे करता है ना, वो बहुत ज्यादा कर रहा था. पहले 2 ओवर में को लगा है क्या कर रहा है, कुछ फिर चालू है इसके दिमाग में. फिर फर्स्ट इनिंग का मैंने हाईलाइट जाके देखा, इट वाज मच क्लीनर, मच नीटर, बिकॉज ही वाज लुकिंग टू टर्न द बॉल फर्स्ट इनिंग में. यहाँ पे वो सिर्फ ड्रिफ्ट पे हिट किया. वो 12 ओवर के बाद तो पहला कैरम बॉल ट्राई करा उसने, सो ही न्यू व्हाट ही वांटेड टू डू, एंड इट वाज मोर टू डू व्हाट वाज गोइंग इन हिज हेड with regards to his bowling. It wasn't that, Rohit is probably using at the wrong time. He gave him a fairly long
Okay.
spell in the first inning, but it was just that Ashwin was looking for that big turn which wasn't there in the first innings. He figured the conditions out when he came out to bowl on day 3. There was more drift than turn, and that is what I wrote for Cricket Next like an hour back. And he used those conditions beautifully and played with the batter's head. तुम टर्न के लिए जाओगे, मैं टर्न ही नहीं दूंगा, मैं ड्रिफ्ट पे खेल जाऊंगा. So more than the pitch, he beat them in the air today, and that is our Ashwin, the scientist, the
Dexter.
person kind of. He keeps reinventing things, and that will go down as the biggest case study in the history of cricket. The way he kind of keeps reinventing and stays ahead of the opposition. He does his homework, and that's what he showed today. So more than captaincy, it was Ashwin utilizing himself, and he used it to full effect today.
Oh, he's an intelligent bowler, and his intelligence was quite explicit in today's game. Srini, we had talked about Dhruv Jurel and our Ashwin. Obviously, we'll be coming to both of these guys back and forth in this live session when we'll be taking our viewers' comments as well. But one bowler who did the job for Team India was Kuldeep Yadav, Zach Crawley's wicket, Ben Stokes' wicket, Tom Hartley, and then Ollie Robinson. 4 wickets to Yadav's bank, and he was again phenomenal with the ball. How important do you find Kuldeep Yadav in India's 11 in the Test format, Srini? You're on mute, Srini.
Right now, the way he's been going, he's been priceless. I mean, especially that ball to, that ball to Ben Stokes, where he got him. I mean, slow, just stayed low. Like, it was that typical classical delivery. And, he did, I don't know. I mean, I somehow felt that today also in the case of Ashwin, and obviously repeatedly in the case of Yadav, England have been in two minds while approaching how to confront, especially the case of Yadav, which I thought was the same case in the case of Ashwin today also. With Yadav, it was that classical delivery that got Ben Stokes, and after that, I think he just grew in confidence. By that time, the damage had already been done, and from there, he just kind of went on this thing. I feel bowlers like Kuldeep Yadav, they begin to prey on the batter's mind once they begin to realize that the batter has gotten a little more defensive. That is what happened in the case of England. And I think, that wicket, I think, opened the gates. He just kind of picked on where Ashwin had left. I was more impressed. For me, the days, Yadav did get his share, but for me, the day belonged to our Ashwin. I just loved what he did, and I was at the end of this thing. I was also watching him talk. It almost felt like he was sitting in a fast bowler's press conference and not in a spinner's press conference. The kind of quotes that he was using. He was like, he talked about new ball, using the new ball. He talked about a bit of speed that he could bring. He talked about using the right length. These are things which usually you get to hear in a medium pacer's press conference and not in a spinner's press conference. To the extent that Joru's wicket is an anomaly in terms of what Ashwin brought to the table, because it was that one rare delivery that actually turned. Because otherwise, players were looking for turn, and then they kind of, So I'm just looking to for what Ashwin delivered today. I think is what brought India back into the game. And then Yadav, of course, with that Ben Stokes wicket. That Ben Stokes wicket is what came to Yadav, and then after that, it was just icing on the cake. Everything else was icing on the cake. But to me, the bowler of the day was Ashwin. He just brought India. Jurel and Ashwin, the two guys who just have given this test match to India.
Yeah. Well, they have.
Anything away from Kuldeep, of course. But as I said, Kuldeep, that Ben Stokes wicket, yes. After that, it was just a formality. But by then, Ashwin had really kind of. I like that the Joe Root dismissal, India reviewing, was, I think, that confidence came from him, because otherwise the ball definitely didn't look like it was going to hit the stump. It looked like it was going way down this thing. So the way he kind of helped India gain that confidence early on was very good.
Okay. Well, Sahil is with us till 7:15 only. So would request our viewers, if you have any specific questions to Sahil, please put that in comment section. We'll be happy to take them first. Meanwhile, Sahil, tell us more about Joe Root's dismissal, because Joe Root wasn't convinced even when he was back in the pavilion. He was again and again watching the video and he wasn't convinced that, oh, how am I out today? And what did Ashwin do to me?
I think the England players can't be convinced with any decision. That is for their umpires call उनके favor में जाए या नहीं जाए उनको कुछ problem रहने ही वाला है. But that Ashwin setup for Joe Root was probably the finest I've seen today because शुरू के 3-4 over Ashwin kept playing with that drift. The ball just wasn't turning. The Oli Pope delivery was more like a outswinging floater from a medium pacer. As Srini said कि वो medium pace के physics, laws of physics पे operate कर रहे थे. But that Joe Root delivery actually turned and that surprised Ashwin himself too. So he was... Yeah, you were saying something, Srini, or on mute?
No, I was just going to say that did Ashwin himself like expect that to turn? It was like
Correct. हाँ, क्योंकि वो पूरा मैच कोशिश ही नहीं किया कि बॉल टर्न करना है. He just wanted to play with the drift, play with the angle, and that is Ashwin for you, right? मतलब he probably was under pressure. He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't accept that. He's a very tough nut. He's a tough character. वो बोलेगा नहीं. But इस मैच से पहले उनका the biggest inning haul was just 3 wickets. That is not Ashwin for you in home conditions. That is how well England had played him before this innings in particular. Or I'll probably put it this way: that is how badly probably he bowled. He did say that he wasn't flustered by England's approach. He was, making them hit wherever he wanted them to hit. वो ऐसा ही बोल रहा था बड़ा बड़ा बात, but कहीं ना कहीं तो rhythm lack कर रहा था. और आज वो मतलब ball 1 से there's a different spark, he spoke in that chat with the host broadcasters where he said Rohit offered the opportunity to both me and Jadeja who will start with the new ball, and I raised my hand up that I'll be the first one to take the hit. So that end particularly worked for him because he bowled 12 overs from that end, extracted whatever he could with the side spin. Then 3 wickets was, and those 3 wickets were not normal wickets. Those were England's 3 centurions in the series so far. So वहीं पे आपने मतलब एक तरीके से बैकबोन तो हटा ही दिया ना. और फिर बेन स्टोक्स के लिए तो कुलदीप यादव बचा ही रखा है हमने, या जडेजा है ही, हम तो शूटर फेंक देंगे उस पे जो उठेगा नहीं.
Yes. Okay. We had one question for Sahil. Would request our producer if you can shoot the question, please. Anyone asked for umpire calls in this match? 4 batters out on umpire call, but those England cricketers are still crying about the Root dismissal. While I still think Root was out on 22 in first innings. Sahil, in general, what do you think about the umpire calls in this whole series?
See, what I think doesn't really matter. A rule is there and it's there for both sides. And this series, in this match in particular, India have been receiving end of a lot of umpire calls. Rajat Patidar का शायद career खत्म हो जाएगा यार एक umpire call के चलते, because he was undone by the umpire call, right?
Yeah.
Had the umpire not given that out, and I was watching it right over the MS Dhoni pavilion. मैं छत से मैं देख रहा था जब रजत पाटीदार आउट हुआ. मेरे को ऊपर से दिख रहा था तो मिसिंग ले गए. पता नहीं अंपायर के दिमाग में क्या सूझा कि इतने टर्न के बाद भी आउट दिया. So umpire's call is there for everyone, right? And that's one part of human element in the DRS which I should be there in some capacity or the other. If you have to kind of get away with everything, फिर तो अंपायर हटा दो ना, मैच फीस बचेगा, वो प्लेयर में बांट दो जो अंपायर का पैसा है. नो बॉल तो ऊपर से आ ही रहा है वैसे भी. कुछ ह्यूमन एलिमेंट रहना चाहिए, ये मैं बिलीव करता हूँ कि मतलब completely.
There is exactly an argument which is opposite of the same sentiment. Okay, the same human element. I know. There is an argument. So I'm not saying I want to right now get into a discussion of what is right and what is wrong. But the same argument is that because you don't believe in the human element is why you wanted technology, right?
Yeah.
So then when you've opted for technology, then why not give 100% weightage to the technology? Then why come back to the human element? I'm saying, people tend to kya baat kar raha hai, technology. Listen, there is an argument. Point is because I'm not trusting human elements here, so I'm going to technology. And technology says, no, it's indecisive, so let me go back to human. So player को किस पे भरोसा, प्लेयर को अंपायर के डिसीजन पे भरोसा नहीं है, अभी तो वो टेक्नोलॉजी के पास गया है ना. अब टेक्नोलॉजी बोलता है कि जिस पे भरोसा नहीं कर रहा था वापस उसी के पास जाओ. does not add up. My only problem with it is the larger picture of what it delivers. I mean, it's a serious line of thought.
No, I think we should do a show on this because मैं इस पे छोटा सा एक यही सोचता हूँ हमेशा. मतलब more than the player not believing the umpire, it's the player over believing in himself कि मैं तो out हो ही नहीं सकता. That is how they kind of take those DRSs which they do. मतलब कितनी बार तो player को लगता है कि मैंने तो बैट लगाया ही होगा, मेरा तो missing leg ही होगा, मेरा तो guard ऐसा है कि
कई बार तो चांस भी ले लेते हैं.
हाँ, कई बार. So that is what वो chance वाला element जो है, वो जो instinct human element, that keeps the fun of DRS also alive, right? मतलब थोड़ा मजा रहना चाहिए.
Which means the technology is not full. It's like war in football. The technology that's
But
being
it
used.
can't be, no, Srini, it can't be foolproof, no. क्योंकि आप trajectory कितना predict कर लोगे?
That's
कुछ
what
तो
I'm
error
saying.
percentage रहेगा.
Because see, listen, you can't eat the cake and then have it, right? You can't say that technology is not 100% foolproof. So I'll try technology, but if it doesn't work, I'll come back to, it's like it's like playing both sides of the drum. It doesn't work. Sorry, JB, you're saying something.
No, I'm just saying the first time DRS was ever used was July 2008 at the SSC, India versus Sri Lanka. I was at that ground. All of us, Srini, we all ran first to Dave Richardson's press conference, and then we went to Gary Kirsten's press conference. He's saying pretty much what you're saying. I wish he said it the way that Srini said it, but Gary Kirsten pretty much said exactly what Srini is saying, right? कि इसका एक पहलू है कि हम आज इस दिन पे आए हैं क्योंकि people have a sudden mistrust or a doubt about human error, right? But again, this is what 16 years ago, जो भी था, but he said the same thing. It's not like this technology is going to solve the problem from players' perspective. And I think he said something like, "I played a lot of cricket, so I know I'm a coach. I know the doubts and I know the arguments for both cases." And the fact that 16 odd years on, we're still talking about it. It just shows that this is not going to go away. Like I told Soumya in the tea break show, Hawkeye had to apologize to the PSL 2 days ago, right? So this is going to be there. We all might be doing these shows 5 years down the line, and some instance will come up. It's never going to go away, just like Shini was saying.
Hawkeye वाला incident जहाँ हुआ है वो that is a different discussion altogether, ना?
वो तो है, but I'm saying it's always going to be a problem. No one way is going to be foolproof, man.
No, I think let's
discussion.
We can have a different chat.
We should do a show. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just say that other bit is that 50% of the ball touching the. How do you determine 50%? Measure tape measuring. Tape लेके घूम रहे हो, 51% नहीं हो सकता, 49% नहीं हो सकता. कुछ चीजें समझ में ही नहीं आती.
Just my closing word on this, I'll just suggest you guys, there's this guy, एक parody account है, who tweets a lot called Ramesh Rivets. उसने एक suggestion किया था on Umpire's call, which was parody नहीं है. अच्छा, okay, I thought it's parody.
Parody नहीं है.
ठीक है. So he tweeted something on it which Dinesh Karthik retweeted, and I think he made a very, very good insight, technical insight where
you should expect him to.
हाँ, तो वो मतलब वो that was kind of fun. तो आप लोग एक बार वो जरूर पढ़ना. Like maybe हम वो भी discuss कर सकते हैं. Show me.
Ramesh, the name that you took, pretty solid mind, boss. Very solid.
Okay, I thought मतलब वो थोड़ा हंसी मजाक.
नहीं.
So my bad.
He's got a great sense of humor. That is why Shah Rukh Khan follows him on Twitter. But but he's a great.
I've sat on some shows with him in Shini and mine's erstwhile company. I had the same view, but you're like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. That guy is something else, something else.
Okay. There's another question for Sahil from Varun Singh. Will Rajat Patwa will be getting chances, and will he be in fray for Australia series in Australia?
Too far, yeah. Australia series in Australia, you have tests against New Zealand and Bangladesh before that. And before that, he should be kind of first hoping against hope that he gets another chance in Dharamshala. तो पहले तो वो देखना है ना. मतलब अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया सीरीज इज टू फार. पता नहीं क्या बदल जाएगा तब तक. कोहली तब तक ब्रेक पे थोड़ी रहेंगे. आएंगे वो भी.
Okay, there were a lot of questions around a pitch, so I'll take that one, and that'll be the last question for you, Sahil, for today.
No, I can take a couple of more. The cab still hasn't come, तो एक दो मिनट. पिच में ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. मतलब बोलते रहे हमारे भाई लोग कि हमें टर्नर नहीं चाहिए था. इन्होंने कोशिश पूरी टर्नर की थी. पूरी कोशिश टर्नर की हुई थी, इनका प्लान चौपट हो गया यहाँ पे ओवरकास्ट कंडीशन से। 3 दिन से रांची धर्मशाला बना हुआ है, सुबह इतना ठंड रहता है यहाँ पे, इट्स सो कोल्ड इन द मॉर्निंग, आई एम नॉट किडिंग, इट वाज ओवरकास्ट फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ द डे टुडे, yesterday most of the afternoon was overcast, so what backfired for India and the plan which they had from this pitch was there was no sun, so the water which they had put in a couple of days before the test actually started, that allowed the pitch to retain the moisture which it did in the first day. जो आकाशदीप का बॉल कटा फर्स्ट सेशन के अंदर, that was because the sun didn't come out that much for the pitch to dry up. सूखा था बट वो उतना सूखा नहीं था, ऊपर से you could see that dry up, but it was still very flaky and platy at top. It didn't play a rank turner because there was no sun. It didn't break down because there was no sun. And the black soil and the ugliness, it isn't that ugly when you play at it, right? Because Dhruv Jurel probably provided a masterclass here how to play. Don't look for runs square of the wicket, play straight, play in the V. The variable bounce will be covered if you play straight. That's what he showed, and that is what England should have done. That is what Joe Root did, Ben Stokes did. But आज पता नहीं इनको डे 3 पे हर टेस्ट मैच में क्या हो जाता है। राजकोट में भी एकदम पगला से गए थे, कुछ भी कर रहे थे, वहीं पे ही कर दिया। आज भी अगेन डे 3, it was a moving day and it kept moving in India's direction. It didn't move in any direction. It kept moving India's way right from start. So I was little surprised the way England kind of approached this play, the day, and the way they kind of approached day 3 of the test matches which they play. I don't know what they want to make out of these days.
Well, pitch has been a very important point of discussion throughout the series, but especially in this match, because before that, a lot many people were more focused about India's playing 11 and the issues related to it. So there wasn't a lot of focus on the pitch. But right now, when everything's going India's way, a lot of people are now discussing about the pitch as well. Okay, next question for Sahil, please. Can we have the next question on screen?
I was not well in Rajkot, but I'm fine now. I'm ready for Dharmshala. No problem.
Okay. Do we have another question for Sahil? We'll take this question and we'll move to another topic then. Question for Sahil, please, on screen.
नहीं है, कुछ होगा तो ट्विटर पे पूछ लेना.
Yeah. Oh, I think we have already taken this question about umpire calls and we have already discussed that. Sahil, thank you so much for joining with us, and would request all our viewers to please ask whatever questions that you have on Sahil Malhotra's Twitter. You can tag him up, or you can also put your questions in our chat box. We'll be happy to share them with Sahil and he'll be happy to answer you. Thank you so much, Sahil, for joining with us. Okay, so we are done with it. Do we have? Yes, we have Sahil. Okay. Okay, so we were just in conversation with Sahil Malhotra, who joined us from Ranchi, and he was telling us everything about the pitch, about India's game today. But one thing, Jamie, that I want to know from you, while we were talking about Rohit Sharma and how he utilized our Ashwin, and Sahil beautifully explained that, you know, how everything lied in Ashwin's hands. I want to know something about Kuldeep Yadav and Rohit Sharma as well. The way Kuldeep Yadav bowled with the old ball, it produced one very important question: that did Rohit Sharma underutilize him or not? So we know something on that angle as well.
Well, absolutely. 12 out of 105 overs in the first innings of England's when Rohit Sharma used him. 12 out of 105. How do you possibly get anyone with half a cricketing brain defend that decision? Yeah, we've discussed this. Someone said, no, sir, ball was not turning. Still doesn't justify just 12 out of 105 overs. No, sir, third spinner hardly bowls. Yes, but that still doesn't justify just 12 out of 105 overs. Bizarre. So I'm very, very glad that Kuldeep got the ball in his hand much earlier on day 3 when the pitch was the toughest to bat on so far. Are we surprised that he got 4 wickets? We shouldn't be. I don't think he bowled any differently to how he bowled in those 12 overs. Yes, of course, the pitch was more helpful for him. Aaj ke din, But yeah, he's a Chinaman bowler. हमने आज discuss किया था morning show पे. How many Chinaman bowlers have played Test cricket? I think under five, if I'm not mistaken. He's a rare talent. Use
Yeah.
him. So yeah, at last the captain was spot on with his use of Kuldeep Yadav, and the result I think is there for all of us to see.
Well, absolutely. Kuldeep Yadav bowled beautifully, and this question will remain intact that why Rohit Sharma underutilized Kuldeep Yadav in the whole series. But today he was brought in the right time, and then he came up with those crucial 4 wickets. Soumya, same thing is with the England team as well. A lot of questions are there on Ben Stokes' captaincy. Now, 8 overs were bowled for India's second innings. India batted for just 8 overs, and there was no James Anderson. Did that decision shock you even a bit?
No, not really. क्योंकि जिस तरीके से pitch was behaving, you saw Ashwin, you saw Kuldeep, both of them. Ashwin had the new ball in his hand and he just rattled the English batting unit. तो वो कहीं ना कहीं वो factor in हुआ है. And ठीक है यार, अगर आप अपने एक fast lead पेसर को अगर आप रेस्ट देना चाहते हो 7-8 ओवर के लिए, उसको फ्रेश रखना चाहते हो कल सुबह के लिए, दैट इज प्रीटी फाइन. एंड दे स्टिल इन द गेम, आई वुड से 100-150 रन अभी बनाने इंडिया को. इट्स नॉट ओवर येट. स्टार्ट बहुत अच्छा मिला है इंडिया को. यशस्वी एंड Rohit have looked really positive. Especially, I'm really happy with the way Rohit has been batting. I was talking to Kanav and Animesh in the post day show कि जिस तरीके से रोहित ने स्टार्ट लिया है, he is looking aggressive, he is taking his chances, he is scoring runs, जिस जो स्ट्रोक्स वो यूज कर रहे हैं, that's pretty positive. एंड इसी तरीके से इस पिच पे खेलना पड़ेगा. The reason why England were bundled out so early, वो डिफेंसिव होते चले गए in their approach. That showed कि कहीं ना कहीं वो स्पिनर्स को लेके they are in a spot of bother. वो पहले से ही माइंड में प्ले कर रहा था. एंड बारिंग जैक क्रॉली, मेरे को कोई दिखा नहीं जो who was settled in probably. So I'm not really surprised. नए बॉल से अश्विन ने भी काम करा है, and not having an Anderson at that point of time makes sense for me.
Okay. Soumya, you said that we can't count England out of the game because India need 152 runs, and even though we have all the wickets in hand, but we can't count England out. What should be England's strategies then for the coming day?
Get early wickets as early as possible. You need to bank on your spinners right now. जिस तरीके से बशीर ने bowling करा है फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में, I am impressed with him. But it's up to Bashir and Hartley. और कोई ऑप्शन है नहीं. I don't think so Anderson उतने इफेक्टिव रह सकते हैं इन कंडीशंस के ऊपर. रॉबिन्सन इज ऑल्सो समवन जिसके जो थोड़ा परेशान कर सकते हैं इंडियन बैटर्स को. तो या I mean, my money is on Shoaib Bashir and somewhere on Tom Hartley as well.
Okay, so are you excited for just 2 more wickets for Anderson to complete 700?
No, not really. I want India to win it by 10 wickets. I am not excited. I am never excited to see an opponent being successful, succeeding on the Indian land. वो अंदर का फैन जाग जाता है यार. और ऐसे सिचुएशन पे तो मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज दिस गेम कैन गो एनीवेयर. शुभमन्स फॉर्म इज इन अ डिलेमा. रजत पाटीदार hasn't been able to put up that kind of show, the kind of ability he has. Sarfaraz, Dhruv, up ठीक है, they have performed well, but ये डिपेंडेंसी रखना, एक चेस के अंदर डिपेंडेंसी रखना, वो ट्रिकी हो जाता है थोड़ा सा. एंड यू कांट रियली एक्सपेक्ट अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स फ्रॉम दीज यंगस्टर्स. ऑफ कोर्स एट द एंड ऑफ द डे 2 मैच पुराने हैं यार, इन बच्चों पे इतना भार मत डालो. तो yeah, I don't want him to pick wickets tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
Ashes में करना यार, Ashes में करना यार, ये जाके यहाँ नहीं करना. ये माइलस्टोन वहां पूरे करो.
ओके. श्रीनी, 2 मैचेस पुराने, जैसे अभी सौम्या ने कहा कि बहुत सारे यंगस्टर्स है, बट डू यू थिंक दैट दीज यंगस्टर्स कैन लीड इंडिया टू अ विन टुमारो, बिकॉज दे आर जस्ट 152 रन्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट विक्ट्री? You're on mute, Srini.
Sorry, मैंने कहा यंगस्टर्स तक बात जानी नहीं चाहिए, वो एल्डरली पीपल के साथ खत्म कर दो गेम. तो ऐसी first half an hour will tell you everything about this game you want to know. Let this guy Rohit walk out tomorrow. First half an hour will tell you exactly by how many wickets are we winning this game? I mean, it will give you a very good idea. अगर आपको डैमेज अगर सहना है तो वो पहले आधे घंटे में ही होगा, और अगर नहीं हुआ पहले आधे घंटे में डैमेज, देन यू आर पास द हाफवे मार्क, देन द मैच इज योर्स.
Yeah.
And you ask me, like, it's 150 runs on board India should get. I'm not going to be very. I'm not going to worry too much about it. You have got a fair amount of experience as well as talent, everything, and your batting is running very deep. So all the cards right now are held by India, and just finish the job. Yeah, I mean, like as I said, Anderson doesn't even come into play. वो किसी को रेस्ट देने के लिए अगर बीच में आगे आ गया तो the only two guys who you have to handle is Bashir and Hartley in that order.
Yeah.
Starting with Bashir, then Hartley, and I think well, as I said, जो भी
Shini, I have a question for you. Do you think Robinson can trouble us tomorrow?
क्या
अगर
करेगा?
थोड़ा ओवरकास्ट होता
है कि आप एक लेंथ पकड़ के डालोगे, तब से लंबा गेम है, आपके पास उतना कुशन नहीं है. मैं वो कह रहा हूँ, अनलेस हमारे बंदे गलती करते हैं तो फिर बात अलग है. लेकिन आप मेहनत करके अगर विकेट लेने की बात देखो, उतना कुशन नहीं है इंग्लैंड के पास. 150 है और 10 विकेट पूरे हैं हमारे पास, राइट. तो अगर आपको सेटअप भी करना है, आपको लगना है, आपको एक मतलब 8-10 ओवर निकालने हैं वहां पे, और वो 8-10 ओवर निकालने के लिए वो है नहीं, उतने में आप पहुंच जाओगे. 100 पार हो गए तो मैच खत्म हो गया, राइट.
Yeah. Well, as we know, in the first innings, Bashir troubled India with that fifer, and everybody, as I think Soumya started off that discussion, how important Bashir's spell will be for England team tomorrow.
Bashir is the bowler.
Yeah. So that'll be something that Team India will need to wary of. Other than that, I think this team is already settled. They already have 40 runs with them, 152 more needed tomorrow. And we'll get to see where this match will turn out for Team India. And as Srini explained, the first half an hour or an hour will be crucial for Team India, and it will decide where the whole match will go. Well, we'll wait for that, but right now let's move to our rapid fire round.
Before we move to that, me and Jamie had a discussion about it already. I want to have a discussion with Srini on this. Srini, on just around 40 overs by the Pacers across the game, two of them सिर्फ 40 ओवर डाले, और सेकंड इनिंग्स में तो आकाशदीप ने ओवर ही नहीं डाला. फिर भी हमने जसप्रीत बुमराह को रेस्ट कर दिया. And we had 350 on the board in the first. We conceded 350 on the board in the first innings.
Yeah, see, अब रेस्ट करना तो मतलब गेम के साथ कोई रिलेशन ही नहीं था ना आपका. मतलब वो लॉजिक तो गेम ड्रिवन लॉजिक था ही नहीं ना आपका. आप किसी भी एंगल से उसको देख लोगे तो इट विल नेवर मेक सेंस टू यू. कोई भी आर्ग्यूमेंट अगर आपके सामने पेश कर दोगे तो इट विल नॉट, बिकॉज द आर्ग्यूमेंट ऑफ रेस्टिंग बुमराह from a resting perspective alone doesn't make sense to me. आप समझ रहे हो मेरी बात? मतलब मैच को आप बाजू रखो, मैं मैच तक आना ही नहीं चाहता हूँ. My problem lies with the way your mind functions in wanting to rest your best bowler. आज हम बात कर रहे हैं कि our finest bowler came to the party today, our Ashwin, right?
Yeah.
All this while he'd been lying low, I mean, hot and cold, and like he's had his share of troubles, kind of as it is. It's not been the most comfortable period for him in so many ways, right? But again, your best bowler in home conditions finally. So until now, the best bowler जो आपका था, आप उसको कैसे बिठा सकते हो, वो मेरे जहन में नहीं आता है. हम क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं यार, हम बड़ा टेस्ट सीरीज खेल रहे हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट टेस्ट मैच खेल रहे हैं. आप जीत गए हो मैच. अब आप जीत गए हो तो आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बैठोगे, बड़ी बड़ी बातें करोगे, ये तो हमने पहले से ही सोच के रखा था, ये वो फलाना ढिमका, जो आपको बोलना है. The point is, going into this game, resting your best bowler, I will not agree with it. You can bring me whatever logic you want to, I will not agree with it.
Well, that's a decision. जैसा श्रीनी ने कहा कि किसी को नहीं समझ में आया जो वो डिसीजन लिया गया और जो वो सामने आया.
आपको अगर इतना वर्कलोड मैनेजमेंट का है, आप फ्रेंचाइज से बात करो, बोलो कि हम लोग इसको खिलाने वाले हैं, आप इसको आईपीएल के पहले 5 मैच बिठा के रखो. मैं चैलेंज करता हूँ, फ्रेंचाइज बोलेगा वी हैव नो प्रॉब्लम, आई चैलेंज यू. बट ये चाय से ज्यादा केटली गरम आप ही सोच रहे हो, फ्रेंचाइज के लिए मैं ही मदद कर देता हूँ.
यस, बट वही बात है ना, हम जसप्रीत बुमराह के बारे में काफी ज्यादा डिस्कशन कर चुके हैं, एंड आई वांटेड दिस डिस्कशन टू बी अराउंड ऑल दीज थ्री प्लेयर्स हु हैव नाउ टेकन इंडिया टू दिस कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन वेयर नाउ एवरीबॉडी इज टॉकिंग कि हाँ, इंडिया ये मैच जीत सकता है और ये सीरीज जीत सकता है, बट ऑन साइड नोट ये डिस्कशन भी चलता रहेगा कि आपने क्यों जसप्रीत बुमराह को रेस्ट दिया, क्या उनका रेस्ट जरूरी था या नहीं था, बट वी ऑलरेडी हैव हैड लॉट ऑफ डिस्कशंस अराउंड इट, सो फॉर टुडे लेट्स कीप आवर
डिस्कशन का रीजन ये है, I'll just take a minute. डिस्कशन का रीजन ये है कि आपने 112 पे 5 से 353 खाए, दैट इज द ओनली रीजन, और आप बहुत ट्रिकी सिचुएशन में थे, आपको ध्रुव जुरेल ने उस जगह से निकाला, वरना आप 134 पे थे कल ट्रेल, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, और आप 100-125 की लीड खा के बैठे होते, एंड दिस टारगेट वुड हैव बीन ओवर 250.
अरे yesterday evening I was at an event, okay, where like people, cricket lovers, media videos, the कोई cricket lovers, generally people who watch India but whatever format they play. Yesterday they were like all shoulders down, यार मैच गया यही टाइम लास्ट इवनिंग ध्रुव जुरेल ने वो मैच वापस लाके दिया। आज दोपहर का वो वापस वो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप नेटवर्क हाई हुआ, जुरेल everybody was so high on what Jurel did, and that 90 go thank that young boy, he's brought you back into the game. And then of course Ashwin gave you that further advantage by again but that said, अगर ये 15 ये इसमें इस इंडियन टीम में किसी को बिठाना है तो मुझे पता है किसको बिठाना है, वो डेफिनेटली उसके लिए अलग शो करेंगे।
ओके, पर चलिए, आज जो कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन में टीम इंडिया है उसका सबसे ज्यादा श्रेय जाता है ध्रुव जुरेल को, एंड ही डिजर्व्स ऑल द प्रेज राइट नाउ, क्योंकि उनके वो 90 रन आज भारतीय टीम के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहे, और उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली अश्विन एंड कुलदीप यादव। ऑन दैट नोट, लेट्स टेक ऑल द क्वेश्चंस दैट वी हैव। वुड रिक्वेस्ट ऑल आवर पैनलिस्ट्स टू प्लीज मेक इट क्विक so that we can take as many questions as possible. First of all, missing KSR sir's threads on Twitter. Where are your threads, Srini?
Even I'm missing that.
I'll come back with more. I've been stuck with too many things. In fact, I have one in my mind which I want to address, which is the global changing cricketing trends. I'll come with very soon. I have a topic in my mind which I want to address very soon.
Okay. Next one, please. I hope there are no further hiccups after all these twists and turns. Yes, Aditya, we have seen a lot of twists and turns throughout this series so far. Nobody wants even a single twist and turn more in the series. Well, let's just hope so that things go well with the team India. Next one, please. Why many are already celebrating, a lot of chasers left. If England get early wickets, it could trigger collapse. Jamie, do you think so? There can be a collapse tomorrow.
Srini, as someone who's seen Barbados 97, Jamaica 2002, Wankhede 2006, Durban 2006, Gaul 2015, Cape Town 2018, I believe Srini would have been at the press conference. Birmingham 2018 and Southampton 2018. I am never able to sit easily when India is chasing targets of between 180 and 224, if I'm not mistaken. The last time it was the Gabba test match. I think इस बात की मैंने जिक्र भी किया था एक शो पे. The Gabba test match. People all around me, in my house, on my WhatsApp stream, हम जीत गए. I'm like नहीं, अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ. So I'm not cynical. I'm not pessimistic. I've just seen India blow targets of 120, Barbados 97 to I believe 224 in Cape Town. I think so these are all the same targets, 120, 224, 192 comes on the higher end of that spectrum. Yes, abhi 152 rehte hain. Yes, ghar ka match hai. Yes, 10 wicket hai. I want India to win. I believe they'll win, but I'm that scarred veteran who's seen too much to say, हाँ match खत्म है.
जेमी, आप एक मैच भूल गए, सीरीज का पहला मैच 234.
There you go. नहीं, you see that I live in the past. We discussed this. 30 years of kabhi haan, kabhi na. I live in the past. So I don't remember what happened last week. I couldn't tell you who won the IPL last year, but I'll tell you Barbados 97. I'll tell you Port of Spain 2002. I'll tell you Wangre 2006. Shinny, England, Flintoff, Ring of Fire, Sean Udall. Sean Udall was probably 70 खींच दिया राहुल द्रविड़ की टीम के नीचे से. So I'm just that person who's like, हाँ जीतेंगे लेकिन शायद हार भी सकते हैं. I've seen too much when it comes to these 160, 190 chases.
That's why I said probably, the first half an hour in the morning and you will have your answer. First half an hour and you will have your answer.
Yeah, very crucial.
But yeah, the guy who asked the question, he's not wrong. I mean,
absolutely not. No, yeah.
Let's not kind of jump the gun on this. Let's take it session by session. Yeah, I mean, it could trigger a collapse. We never know what could trigger a collapse. So let's be ready.
Yeah. Okay, Chaliye, let's move to the next one. Can we have the question on screen, please? Ashwin said it was Rohit's idea to ball him in Jaddu. Ashwin looks so different with the new ball. Yes, Sunny, Ashwin said that, in team huddle, Rohit asked who wants to go with the ball. Ashwin raised his hand up, and that's how Ashwin landed up with the new ball. And he got 3 wickets, 3 crucial wickets earlier in the day. So that's about
all
Ashwin.
I know is if I was covering this test match and I had to write 500 words on India's bowling today, all I would want is R. Ashwin to do well and come to the press conference, because he'll make my copy with the way he'll explain what happened, and that is absolute joy. That the way he can, that quote which he gave today, I had to rewire myself, in terms, and then he goes on to explain, and then he goes on to talk about, what little subtle changes he brought about, what is the wicket like, what he likes doing, which is exactly getting the new ball. I mean, how many spinners actually would come and say, like, I love the new ball, kind of, when I had to concentrate on my length, and then, I kind of had to add a little bit of pace to my bowling. That's more like Akash Deep coming and sitting in the press conference, a medium pacer coming in sitting in the press conference. So the guy, the way he speaks, adds so much charm.
Yeah. Not only that, Srini, if you might have heard him today, the way he explained Kuldeep Yadav's bowling, I loved that. Ashwin said, I was thinking that Ashwin might say something different about Kuldeep Yadav, but he said, the thing that I love about Kuldeep Yadav is the way he has changed his run up. And then you instantly go back and you think, okay, was there a change? What was that? And that's what you love about our Ashwin. And Ashwin also joked about a thing that, I stole the fifer from Kuldeep Yadav, but I'm quite happy about that. So yeah, he stole that fifer from...
वो तो जाडेजा ने किया ना 1 विकेट लेके.
But no, what I'm talking about is, how Ashwin is. Every time after the match, how he tries to be funny, how he tries to, explain things, and how he was just talking about Kuldeep Yadav and how he was so impressed with the Yadav's bowling. But okay, everything about, let's move to the next one. This one's to Srini from Varun Singh. Why Kuldeep's contribution is not hailed as much as Sarfaraz in 3rd test and in the current test match now? Varun, I think Srini already answered it when I asked him about Kuldeep's
I don't know if he's referring to my tweet or something, because I had tweeted and I tweeted for Sarfaraz, and then people asked me, but why not? Why are you not mentioning Kuldeep? I mean, I just thought that Sarfaraz ko finally jaake, this is the last test. Finally jaake usko ladke ko chance mila. That's why I'm so happy for that boy. But ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है यार. Why somebody's contribution is not hailed? ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है. Everybody is the same. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
I just feel this is going to be a very, very important innings if Sarfaraz comes out to bat, क्योंकि this will make us understand his temperament in Test cricket. क्योंकि उसको अगर वो आता है तो वो इतनी tricky situation में आएगा कि उसको match निकालना पड़ेगा. So I just want, if he has to come, he should win the game for us.
Yeah. Okay. There was a question about Rajat Patidar. What are his chances for the next match, Jamie?
Said this before. Irrespective of whether KL Rahul comes back, I would not play him. Nothing to do with his talent. Nothing to do with, like Sahil said, 9 years of domestic experience. He's not in the right frame of mind. You need someone who can give you confidence. Play Akshar, play Washington Sundar, play Devdutt Padikkal. Anyone is there right now. In my book, Patidar does not play the fifth test match.
Okay. Srini wanted to say something.
Now, if we win this test match, I will play with Rajat because I mean, might as well give him that opportunity to kind of find this feat. If we win this test match, then yeah.
For me, KL, if KL doesn't come back, I will still go in with him, no matter what the result is. I'll just give him a last game.
Okay.
Because the only reason he's looking good, but he's just getting out. That's the only reason. I'm not finding a fault in his batting. He's just getting out.
First innings of that makes me want to believe that ये लड़के में temperament तो है.
Exactly.
चलता नहीं जैसे भरत wicket keeper. अब तो खैर Jurel has like snatched the opportunity with both his hands, and वो अभी वापस तो जा नहीं रहा है भरत. So he's just lost an opportunity that came his way, and he only is to blame for this. But that said, Bharat, the talent, I still have that confidence in him कि वो बंदा जो था वो, he had his basics in place. Same for Patidar. I mean, वो पहला innings में तो दिख गया था कि यार, just like Sarfraz. अगर सरफराज भी 2 innings अगर नहीं खेलेगा तो भी आपको पता है कि वो जो 68 था फर्स्ट इनिंग्स 66 या 68 जो भी था, आपको पता है कि like that instilled so much confidence in you in terms of what his temperament levels are at this stage, right? So that's a small thing. But that said, what Jamie says is also important because if this match were to not go India's way and then you were to go to Dharamshala and this being a 2-2, then you'd probably want confidence to go into the 11, right?
Yeah. Okay. Next question, please. Will Ben Stokes carry Bazball thing in next match? Jamie, okay, 2 parts of this question. One, I'll go directly with what Karan Seni is asking. That's about Bazball thing, whether we'll see the Bazball thing in Dharamshala or not. The second one is today we saw some questionable shots from the England batters. They could have batted better and longer. They had the chances, but they didn't play that well. They took those risks, and perhaps people call that only as Bazball. But I think there were a few questionable shots when it comes to England batters. So both the parts of this whole question, what's your take on that?
I'm very excited to hear out Jamie on this. Go on.
Look, it depends, Karan, which part of Bazball you're talking about. Bazball has at least four or five different facets. I don't know which one you're talking about. In regards to Ben Stokes, let's I'm guessing you mean Ben Stokes the batsman. Ben Stokes the batsman has not really played the way the others have, right? He's not played. We discussed किया था. एक बेहतरीन 70 मारा था पिछले पहले टेस्ट की पहली पारी में. उसके बाद Ben Stokes the batsman has not showed up because he's not, forget Bazball. Ben Stokes is not playing Ben Stokes' way, right? Ben Stokes' batting legacy was defined and sealed before Bazball came around. Ben Stokes' captaincy legacy only started with Bazball because before Bazball, he'd only captained once during COVID when Joe Root was not there. So if you want Ben Stokes to bring his captaincy into the next match, he will definitely do it. He's not going to shelve that. Ben Stokes, the batsman in Bazball, वो तो यार 5 पारी से तो आए नहीं, तो अगले मैच में मुश्किल है. हो सके because we discussed how bad he is against balls that stay so low. धर्मशाला में अगर bounce थोड़ा ज्यादा है, you might see Ben Stokes the batsman come back. But again, I don't know which aspect of Ben Stokes and Bazball you want me to comment on, Karan.
Okay. Well, only Karan will be able to tell us which aspect of Bazball he's talking about. Karan, would request you if you can share your thoughts on that in the comment section. We'll be in a better position to answer your question. Next question, please. This one's for Srini. Why no test match at Eden, Mumbai or Chennai? Such poor crowd attendance at Ranchi. Srini, you're on mute.
So sorry, there's so much noise, so I keep it on mute. So what I can tell you for now is that this is something that I did discuss with people in the BCCI, and I'm completely of this mindset and logic that it's unfortunate to see test matches just being distributed like chocolates here. I am of the view that there needs to be a sense of history and narrative attached, in the richest form of the game. And purely keeping that in mind, I had this conversation with BCCI, and they, some very senior people, some very important people, convinced me that this is something that they will look into after this series. And they said that they do acknowledge that it is important that big test centers should get big ticket test matches, and this is something that they are going to sit down and talk about. Right now, unfortunately, what happens is Indian cricket has a rotation system, which is like a system that was put into place early on, and that everybody felt that all test centers, all big centers, all prominent centers are there, and prominence in BC's Indian cricket is decided on the basis of vote. So it's unfortunate, but that's how it works. So usko change karna padega. And I have said that for top matches, top test matches, tier one test matches, you need to have your best centers hosting it. And by best centers, I mean historical test centers, which are in Gardens, Chinnaswamy, Chidambaram, Wankhede, even Mohali for that matter. And of course, for the infrastructure that Ahmedabad has, and Ahmedabad has a rich history of India's greatest accomplishments in the 90s came in the 80s and 90s happened in Ahmedabad. So these are centers which need to be given absolute importance, especially when teams like England and Australia come here. And आप दीजिए ना. I've been trying to push this. नहीं, आपको जितना white ball cricket देना है आप उनको दीजिए. I don't care if you don't host a white ball game at a Chidambaram Stadium or a Wankhede Stadium or at Eden Gardens. There's random bilateral T20s. Just give it away. But then make sure that you give them a test match every now and then. That's how you maintain and retain historical importance, relevance.
Yes.
Eden to Indian cricket, what Lords is to England, so we must have more matches at the Eden. Eden is to Indian cricket, what Lords is to even Eden. The history of Eden Gardens suggests it's as important a test venue as it can get. I mean, so is M.A. Chidambaram. I mean, so is Wankhede. So, all of these. I'm saying, I don't agree with the whole Eden is to Indian cricket or Lords is to England, but I do understand where that sentiment is coming from, and I respect that sentiment. It's a very important asset.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we'll take just a few more questions. So request our producer to please shoot the questions quickly. India should start backing Kuldeep more. He could be very useful even in Australian conditions. Doesn't depend on pitch. Your thoughts, Jamie?
Absolutely, I've said this before. It was January 2019. India won its first series in Australia, the first Asian team to ever win a Test series in Australia. The Sydney match was a washout, thereby giving India the series. Kuldeep Yadav took 5 wickets. He had the ball held in his hand. He walked off the pitch. Our erstwhile coach, Yashasvi, said, "This boy is our #1 overseas spinner." It was 4 years before Kuldeep Yadav played an overseas Test match, and it happened in Bangladesh, which is like going from, in my book, Delhi to Noida across the DND. He is not still viewed as an overseas bowler. I hope Kuldeep goes to Australia. I know the challenges of playing a second spinner in Australia. हमेशा नहीं करती है हमारी team. Ashwin and Jadeja, because of their stature, because of their all-round status, even in conditions where Kuldeep stands to do better than them, because of the purchase he can get, he'll always be the #3 spinner overseas. It's Priyanshu is right. He doesn't depend on the pitches, but unfortunately, he will always be a distant third and sometimes distant fourth when Akshar Patel plays. So I hope he goes to Australia. Will he play in Australia? Unfortunately, I have doubts.
Okay. Next question, please. Ashwin will make a great commentator. I have no doubts about that. Srini, Jamie, Samya, do you have any doubts about that?
Let me add something to that. He's the kind of person, whatever he does, he'll make it look good.
Oh, that's a very big compliment, Srini, for anyone. Like
In
I
fact,
think for
it's
Ashwin, it's a very,
it
very
is Ashwin's is one post-retirement career which I am really looking forward to in terms of wanting to know ye kya karega, what will he do, so that's something I'm looking forward to, and I really expect him to. I really expect him to kind of create like new paths for cricketers to find a career post. I mean, his is the kind of mind that I would like to know, in terms of like where it will go and what opportunities will it create for the coming generations to follow. So yeah, I see him as special.
okay. Jamie, you wanted to say something.
No, I'm saying, I think ever since he started his YouTube channel, we got a more than a glimpse into what he can do when he's sitting in front of the camera. He's made a business. It's never going to get him the money that he does playing for India, but he's got a solid business sense. He's got a solid team, and like Shini said, that is just one facet of what he does. Right? Maybe it's commentary, maybe he does something else in broadcasting, maybe it's coaching. But what I think personally, what he's gained from having a massively successful YouTube channel, I think the most successful by any cricketer of any country, it just offers a glimpse into what he can do. I'm not saying he'll open up more YouTube channels, but we've seen a lot of, a side of Ashwin we would never have seen had he not opened a YouTube channel while being an active player. It's pissed off many people. I know for a fact what he does, but his shows are probably 95% in Tamil. But often when I have time, I will just watch and read the subtitles because he is that engaging when he speaks. And what a brain, yeah! What a brain.
He is a very, very intelligent cricketer, and I always laugh whenever he has that mic in his hands. Even today, I think we discussed this a lot many times in this live session, what he said today after the match, and it was all really very interesting. So it's going to be really, really interesting what Ashwin does after his retirement. Well, let's move to the last question. And that's from Varun Singh. Is Joss Butler better than Johnny Bairstow in terms of baseball, Soumya?
Not, I mean, what kind of a comparison is that, yeah? Johnny Bairstow has played a n number of innings जहां उन्होंने अपना कैलिबर दिखाया है. It's just that he struggle. और यहाँ पे सब struggle कर रहे हैं यार. यहाँ पे Indian batters भी struggle कर रहे हैं in conditions के ऊपर. Yes, he is not having that kind of a series, but I feel this is the most balanced England lineup that they have had. They could have had. So no changes in that, and no comparison between the two players. Butler for me is more of a is more suited in a white ball format. Both of them. Bairstow makes a good place in this test 11 for England.
I'll just add.
Yeah.
The failure of Joss Butler, the test player, was one of the final nails in the coffin for that pre-Bazball regime.
Yeah.
And right. For a while now, Butler has also made it very clear that his priorities only lie in white ball.
Bilkul.
He has some other priorities, which again for another show or something. But his red ball is definitely not this priority.
Okay, that's that for today, and let's see what will happen tomorrow. India need 152 runs to win, thanks to Dhruv, Jurel, Ravichandran Ashwin and Kuldeep Yadav for leading India to this comfortable position, just 152 runs away. And as Srini said again and again in this live
don't
session,
say just
nahi hai. Exactly, just nahi hai.
Just 52 runs, okay, not 152.
No, wait, hear me out. What I'm saying is that 30 minutes are crucial, that Srini has said again and again in this live session. If Team India manages to overcome those 30 minutes, मुझे वो शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग याद आ रहा है, सिर्फ अब कहने चाहिए सिर्फ 30 मिनट चाहिए टीम इंडिया को.
Yeah, Shini, you go ahead, then I'll say.
No, I'm saying sit with your breakfast at the first ball of the day. By the time you finish your breakfast, you'll know where the match is.
Yeah, I just want to add, I just want Rohit Sharma to play the way he was playing today. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Do not go into that shell. Just
Somebody
चढ़ के खेलो
commented
यार.
on my Twitter handle. So when I said 191, is it chaseable? Like kind of.
I was
somebody
about
said,
to comment on that.
Huh?
I was about to comment on that.
So somebody commented saying that Rohit should play should avoid playing selfless cricket. For a change, he should play some selfish cricket.
No, he should play selfless cricket tomorrow. मार के खेलो.
हाँ तो
I understood what he's saying.
That
Yeah,
was
मार
exactly
के
the
खेलो.
opposite of what he said.
Yeah. मार के खेलो.
खड़े रह के खेलो.
नहीं खड़ा
पीछे
होने.
हो गए, बस खेलो यार, जो भी है खेल लो, वरना
He
like
was looking
40
good.
बन
He was
चुके हैं,
looking
150
confident.
चाहिए,
Yeah.
50 और बना लो, उसके बाद में नहीं तो इसलिए तो 50 और बना लो, गेम आपका है.
पर चलिए कल आप लोग सभी लोग
उसके बाद तो
breakfast
बच्चे
लेकर
बना ही
बैठिए,
लेंगे.
जैसे श्रीनी ने कहा जैसे श्रीनी ने कहा आप लोग ब्रेकफास्ट लेके बैठे, आपको आधे से 1 घंटे में मैच किस तरफ जाएगा वो पता चल जाएगा. सो लेट्स वेट एंड वॉच.
50-60 रन जल्दी से रोहित बना दे, उसके बाद तो बच्चे बना ही लेंगे. बाकी बच्चे बना लेंगे.
Okay, so it's going to be a very, very exciting day tomorrow, and we are all geared up. You all stay prepared for those 30-60 minutes, and let's see where this match will go. Thank you so much, Jamie, Srini, and Samir for joining with me, and thank you so much, everyone, for your questions.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट.